Trained to finish. Welcome to 1111 True Crime. Mama D coming at you. We have a story today, a real life saga, and it's extremely concerning. We have a little girl that's 9 years old, Melodee Buzzard, that is missing. Now, some people might not be paying attention to this case because they're like, well, she was with the mother. But you guys, this is a custodial thing. The father passed away when Melodee was a baby. So this started off in California, but it's gone over many states now, all the way to Nebraska, Kansas, Utah, Nevada, and this is getting interesting. Now, I'm going to be sharing with you a couple things that make me really believe there's a lot of hope. One, from a personal experience, and two, because of something I found out that Melodee Ashley, the mother, did on this trip. We know she changed the license plate to New York, which was a fake plate, I guess. We know that she was in a wig. It appears that Melodee, the daughter, was in a wig at this rental place. But she made a detour as well. And on this detour, there's an eyewitness that saw and Ashley spoke to her. And it's what she shared, what Ashley said to me. I know it's not huge, but what she shared has given me hope. So I want to get into that. Mom just got arrested on non-related charges to Melodee. Okay, let's get on the news here and find out. Where'd you hear that from? Who peed my Cheerios? I like your name. Ashley. This is why we go live, right? Buzzard arrested. Let's just see if I can find something. Woo! It's hot on the press. All right, let's get over to website. I am on channel news 12, 3, and 11. So that's ABC, CBS, and Fox. And they say sheriff detectives arrested Ashley Buzzard. Breaking news, you guys, for felony false imprisonment. Missing daughter location remains unknown. So what does this mean? Felony false imprisonment. Let's find out. All right. Here's the picture. Can we trim this up and make it bigger for you guys? Hold on. See, we had perfect timing today. Thank you so much for telling us while I'm live so that we can get right on it. All right, ready to get into this? Oh, I know Jan's views. Something very wrong with this case. I want to give a little shout out. Let's go back up. Let's see here. Thank you so much who paid my Cheerios. I really giggle at your name. All right, you guys, let's find out what's going on. Vandenberg Village, California, Ashley Buzzard, the mother of still missing 9-year-old Melodee Buzzard, was arrested Friday morning, today, right, on charges unrelated to the search. Doesn't mean it's unrelated to Melodee, so let's read on and find out. According to the Santa Barbara, California County Sheriff's Office, detectives learned that the 40-year-old had prevented a person from leaving a location against their will, which qualifies as false imprisonment. What? Hold a moment. What? Let's reread that together. According to Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office, detectives learned that the 40-year-old had prevented a person from leaving a location against their will. Who? And when? All right, let's keep going. Which qualifies as false imprisonment. Let's get over and let's read the rest of this. Detectives arrested Ashley on a felony charge of false imprisonment, and she will be booked on the charge at Northern Branch Jail. Her bail is set at $100,000, and that is shared by the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office. The search for Ashley's daughter is still ongoing, and anyone who has seen Melodee or has contact with her is asked to contact Sheriff Detectives at 805-681-4150. You can share information on Melodee while remaining anonymous by calling 805-681-4171. This is an evolving situation. More information will be added to this article as soon as it is available. What in the world? That is wild. Who did she falsely imprison? Were they an adult? Was this something in the past? How could it be anything in this current time frame? Let me open this up a little bit. We're going to be covering this, and I adjusted the screen because of that article, but of course this article is different. Right. This is absolutely wild. Yes, we are talking about this beautiful little girl here, little Melodee Buzzard. Now, don't get confused. That picture, she still has her baby teeth. What is that, 5 years old, 6? They say it's 2 years old. Not a 2-year-old, that the picture is 2 years old. If Ashley is 9, she wouldn't have had all her teeth at 7, right? Those look like baby teeth to me. It looks like she could be 5. Those look like 5-year-old baby teeth. It's snowing in Alberta. It's crappy here. You can tell I have no sunlight. It's just cloudy. Yes, Casey, we just found out they arrested Ashley Buzzard. If you're just tuning in, they have arrested the mother on unrelated charges to the search of Melodee Buzzard. And she is being charged with false imprisonment because she held someone against their will and refused to let them go. It don't make her a K-I-L-L-E-R, though. I spell because YouTube makes me spell. Just saying. Yes, Denise, she is absolutely arrested. I just read it off of 3 sources to verify what we were being told. And, yep, Ashley has been arrested on an unrelated charge. It's very concerning, Jan, very concerning. However, let me get into some things. So, first of all, we have some new footage. I want to share that with you. So let's go do that. And then I'm going to get into why I have hope, strong hope, that Ashley is actually thinking in her mind that she's protecting her daughter rather than the other side of the coin, which is the, Lori Vallow kind of energy. I do have a hint of that Gabby Petito feeling, but I hope I'm wrong, okay? I hope I'm wrong. Okay, let's get over here. Have you seen this footage before? Here, take a closer look at this. I had not seen this, right? I don't know where I was for the last couple days, but for some reason, all the information I've been taking in about Ashley, maybe it's because I've been cleaning house and filling orders and all, making thumbnails and not watching the screen. So if you're doing things right now, take just a second. We're going to play about a 30-second, maybe 30-second video that I had most of you probably are going to be like, I saw that days ago. And I'll be like, okay, I didn't. So I'm definitely going to show that. Carla says, who was it, Melodee? Yeah, I don't know. It says unrelated to the search. So that could be Melodee too. Did they get in there and find that there was imprisonment? Like, mailman's here. Mailman's here, y'all. Fur babies. Mailman's here. He must have a package. Okay, boys. He's gone. Every day, that mailman, I could book my life at 3 in the morning. My mailman would show up, or the Amazon guy, right? So don't even ask me how I can get better. You know, Jan, I love you, and I hear you. They're saying 2 years, but I just don't agree with that. I think that is a picture from when this child was 5, maybe 6, but 7. I just don't see that. All right, you guys, let's get into this. Let's dig deep. Let me back up and tell you guys a little bit for those that are just kind of catching up on this case. All right? So, Ashley is the mother, Melodee is the child, and the father passed away when Melodee was just a baby. Melodee is now 9. She is missing. The mother took a trip. So first of all, she enrolled this child in her own homeschooling program, but has not been doing any of the paperwork required at all or showing up, nothing. Just said, I'm taking her out of school, I'm going to homeschool her. And wasn't doing it. After the school didn't see her for a while, they did report her missing. However, before they reported her missing, Mommy Dearest rented a Chevrolet Malibu, I believe, with the child present, and that's what you're looking at over here in this screen, is the car rental place. And this child appears to have a wig on there saying, Ashley definitely has a wig on. So why the disguise? They take off on that car ride and they go to Nebraska. I'll just show you. They go all the way from where they live right here in this Lompoc, California, and they travel all the way up here and they go to Nebraska and California, Kansas. Then they return and they're coming back and they go to Utah, and then they do a weird detour. So the locals and those that travel the area have emailed me and said that that is an out-of-the-way place to go to if you're going back to, Lompoc, California. That would be an unused route. So there, that appears to be a detour. And right around these areas, the Utah and Nevada border is the last time that officials are saying, because we haven't seen it, but officials are saying they've got confirmation of Melodee being with Ashley. So that little detour. Now I'm going to play you this video real quick that I had not seen. Then we're going to get into something. And there's a couple things here that give me a great deal of hope for this child. Unlike a lot of the different cases that we work, I lose hope. Because I'm like, I don't see how this can end well. This one, I think, may. I'm praying so hard, y'all. I just want to have hope. Okay? All right. So let's get up into this video. There's no sound for it. You can see she looks like Cher, right? They're clean. They're neat. They're tidy. She's always dressed really nice. I'm playing it again for you. That Cher wig just wins, right? Right, that's what I'm wondering, Allison. Did they find items suggesting imprisonment? That's scary. Okay. So, let me see where I put that. Oh, I got it here. Okay. So, let me come up to the top side. At some point, Ashley Melodee, yes, Ashley. Oh my golly. Their names get me. Ashley, the mother. Okay, the mother turns in the car dealership. But in between all this, at some point, she switches the license plates to New York fake plates and was wearing a wig. So authorities are saying she is basically, to the best of their understanding, their best guess is that she's wearing disguises to not be detected while she's taking Melodee on this trip and comes back on the 10th of October without her. So the last time that, now we've had the update, which originally was the 7th of October, till now we have October 9th. And that's the last time that Melodee is known to be seen. However, we're going to listen to family members who are going to be talking, and this is the grandma of Melodee. And in that, she says something, and I'm like, okay, all right, I get that little detour now. That makes perfect sense why she would have went somewhere and then detoured off to this place, and this could be the last time she saw Melodee because she left her with someone. Let's find out how this works. Hey, Ash Cass. I said Ash Cass. Ash Cash, how you doing? Thank God it's Friday. Fake plates is all we know. It's not been reported as stolen. Fake plates. Right, good point, Jan. So if you're just catching up, I'm kind of doing a sloppy job of bringing you up to speed, and I apologize. But there's no contact with family. Like Ashley, the mother, has segregated the entire world away from her and Ashley. And I mean, like, no contact, no photos, no social media, nothing. For years. Years, you people. Hear me. This child has been alone with her mother, basically. And now she's got false imprisonment charges. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. Right, Ash Cash. What did they find in that house? Did they find something in the storage unit? Did they find something in the house that was false imprisonment? Or, yeah. That'd be the only two places I could think of right now. You trying to stay warm? This case is creepy. It's got a little bit of that Carrie feel with the mother being really controlling and narcissistic and only caring about herself. But in her mind, she thinks she's protecting her daughter. That's what I feel. But we'll see. This is crazy. I know. Can you imagine putting on wig on your daughter and yourself, driving her states and states away, and then coming back? Oh yeah, gotta change the license plate too, to avoid the, license plate readers and cameras and all that. And then coming back and turning in the rental car, but you ain't got your daughter, and the police are literally, and the FBI and all the powers that be are at your door and in your house and looking around for your daughter, and you're like, What? That's wild. That's wild. Hi, Julianne. Good to see you, lovely. Welcome back. Carla Burgeon. Hello, lovely. Krita Sign. Cindy Clark. Good to see you both. Hey, Rach, not that Rach. Nikki K. Allison. Say hi to everybody. Who Peed My Cheerio says she was barefoot when arrested and wasn't expecting this. I bet. They tried to serve her papers yesterday and she wouldn't answer the door. All right. So she went, okay. She's also went as far as to take down the missing posters at her property that family and friends and neighbors of the baby Melodee, I know she's 9, she's still a baby, y'all, have put up so that when Melodee comes home, she'll know how much everybody missed her, how much everybody loved her, right? It's a lot of, I love you, Melodee. I miss you, Melodee. Where is Melodee? And Mama went out there and ripped down the signs, like methodically. That's just wild. So now, you guys, there's more to the story. The neighbors are reporting that she is having moving boxes delivered to her home. She came out dressed up really nice with her Cher wig, right? That's my Cher impression. And she's out there with her Cher wig, and she's putting them boxes inside the garage, and she's dressed to the, dressed for the day, all prim and proper with her purse, but she don't go anywhere. What is going on? I feel like we're in Alice in Wonderland, like we went through the looking glass, and I'm just looking for the Cheshire Cat, because White Rabbit isn't far away in this case. However, I told you I would share something. So I'm going to share this first, and then I'm going to Mom of the Year Not. Right, Carla? Totally. And she stated Stoom wouldn't say anything. Indicated that she knew where she was, but was refusing to say. She didn't even indicate she knew where she was. She just isn't cooperating at all on the well-being of the child. Pre-5ist 1, 5, and 2. Hello, lovely. Can I say present? Present. We're calling you present. You're our present. Never been to this channel. I don't understand why everybody thinks this mother is doing something wrong. Okay, I'll explain why. In my humble opinion, and I'm sure the FBI as well, it is very concerning when no family nor the mother have the child. I mean, it's not legal to give away your child. That's not something you can do. That's called trafficking, right? And it's to protect children. People need to know where the child is. And that's all we're asking. That's all we want to know. So, but that's my impression. You love it? That's my Cher impression. Her behavior by refusing to say anything was indicative of her knowing but not saying. Very good point, Allison. Very good point. Excellent point. Rightly, the child is actually missing, like unaccounted for. I think she should have been arrested a long time ago. Right? Yeah, why can't you just say where your kid is? At any given time, you should be able to produce the whereabouts of any child that's under the age of 18. You should be able to say, well, here's a phone number, here's a location, go talk to them, go look at them, right? But that's not happening. But present or present, that's your opinion, and I welcome your opinion too. But can't a custodial parent take a child to visit or stay with a friend? Possibly. Could she be protecting the child from something? Excellent point. Excellent point. And that's what I think is going on here. All right, so I'm going to cut to the chase. I'm going to tell you about my story. I'm going to take this off here. And let's do this today. I'm not going to be in my normal frame, but this is something very personal. I'm going to take chat down for a minute. Some of you know, you've been with me for years, and I don't hide this. I'm not ashamed of it. I was a child. I went through hell. I had no idea that as I grew older, my mother had schizophrenia. So at the time when I was four, my mother rented a hotel kind of area, and she got hired on at the supper club across the street to work as a cocktail waitress. And I didn't have a sitter. The hotel was shaped like a horseshoe, and in the middle was the playground. And so all the little kids that's moms worked at the nightclub, we would all run out into the play yard and we would play. And this went on for a couple of weeks. And one day I woke up and my mother was gone, like cleaned house out of the rental room. And she had forgot two things: me and two single $1 bills on the nightstand. That's it. I was too little to understand time. I can remember everything. I wasn't even that concerned because I thought she went somewhere and would come back. So I thought, well, I'll just wait it out, because my mom was very off. And she reminds me a lot of Ashley. She was very much that kind of bizarre behavior. She always looked great. Like she could have got any, and she did, any man she wanted. She was a little Marilyn Monroe, gorgeous woman. Hot little figure, great little nightclub kind of thing. I was kind of like the peanuts in her Coke. I was her tag along. My job was to not interfere with whatever she had to do to make money. So when she left, I was kind of like, well, she'll come back, but she didn't. So I'll never forget this, because I knew how to get my own hamburgers because I'd been staying there. I would just go into the restaurant part where my mother worked, and I would go up there and I would tell one of the ladies, you know, I needed a cheeseburger, and she'd say $50, and I'd give her $1, and she'd give me money back because they were 50 cents. Well, that lasted for 2 days, so I must have eaten a couple hamburgers or whatever, and I didn't have any more money. None. And I couldn't buy no cheeseburger. And it got dark for the second time. And all that room was white. The bed was white, the sheet was white, the curtains were white, the walls were white, everything but the carpet. And there I sat, and I kept leaving the room door wide open, because it was like right out into the play yard, and then I could see if other kids would come out. And I started getting scared. I didn't know what to do. And I'm like, well, how long is she going to be gone? So I went back to where the lady sells the hamburgers, and her name was Rach, right? Rach, not that Rach. Anyway, I remember her name. And she was kind of like a flow off of Alice, right? She was kind of like that gum smacking with the big beehive. And she's like, what can I get you, honey? And I told her I need to eat, but I haven't got money. And she told me to go tell my mom and give me some money. And I said, my mom left me. Well, they did the work through the books, and they had to get a detective investigator to find out who my next of kin was and try to find my next of kin. So that's how I ended up living with my grandma. I was in, I kid you not, Tennessee when she left me. Auburn, Tennessee. She just left me in the motel. Poof, gone. And you'd think surely in a week or two she checked back. Try 2 years. 2 years. She never looked for me. She never cared. She went on her way. My grandma began to raise me as her own, treated me amazing, like a loving, beautiful woman. When in came my mom one day, out of the blue, with her little Marilyn Monroe, beautiful little figure and giant brown eyes, right? And she was like, I'm taking my daughter now. And my grandma was like, no, you're not. They got into a brutal fight. I was hiding. Next thing I know, the police are going to be involved. And my grandma's going to have to go to jail because my mom's going to report her for kidnapping. So grandma is beside herself, and she is horrified as she watches Annette, Marlene Annette, grab that little child and disappear into the night. And my grandma didn't know I was alive or dead for 2 more years. Well, 2.5 years, until I ran away from my mother's and signed a Greyhound ticket and got back over there to stay with my grandma. So could Ashley have a friend? Because my mom had a friend. Before we went to that motel, I had not been with my mother. I had been with her college friend for over a year because she dropped me off there and she disappeared, and the friend had no idea how to get into contact with anybody. So she raised me hoping my mom would come back, and my mom did. And that's when she took me to the motel. So could Melodee be safe? I assure you, she can be. There is absolute hope. And what I'm going to tell you, and it's the smallest thing in the world, but I am praying so hard for Melodee, and I want a win. I want this child okay. Is that Ashley was seen with some purple-haired girl in a car in Utah. Now, the woman claimed she was a worker at the gas station. She called the police and everything. She claimed that the woman in the purple wig or purple hair, she said hair, I said wig, she said hair, she said looked in her mid-20s, early 20s. However, when we all saw that picture of Melodee with that wig, many of us thought that that was someone in their 20s. So could that have been Melodee in the purple in Utah? But it's what Ashley said, the mother, to the worker. And that was, hold on just a minute, you guys. The worker said that Ashley opened the door to the gas station and peeked her head in and said, "Is anybody aware that you have kittens out here?" Because there was a whole bunch of little kittens running around outside by the gas pumps, and they could have gotten run over by a car. So Ashley had compassion enough to protect the kittens. Now, I'm not saying she isn't somebody that's doing some weird stuff, especially if she's been arrested for false imprisonment. But my mom could have got that too, because she did stuff like that. But she would have never killed me. You feel me? She was mentally ill, but at the same time, she just forgot she had a daughter, I guess. I don't know. She's too mentally ill now that I will never know the answer what went through her mind when she's 24 years old and she walked out of that motel and drove out of that parking lot and didn't even wonder what happened to Danny. Ashley behaves in that little footage at that car rental exactly like my mother did. All prim and proper, silent. So I do have a lot of hope. I have a lot of hope for Melodee, because to me, this is more like somebody that's mentally ill, that's like, oh, and I must add, Ashley has already lost one child, which is a little girl, to CPS, took her away. So it's very possible that Ashley is actually in her mind somehow twisted this into, like Who Peed My Cheerios was saying, to protect this child. Hold on, you guys. I had to share that because, not to get sympathy, because I'm an adult, you know, and it's why I do the cases that I do. But it gives me a lot of experience into this idea. What we're about to listen to is the grandmother of Melodee, and she talks about this trip. And she talks about this detour in Utah. And she even says, when you get around those parts, that all those parts is where Ashley and her husband, which would have been Melodee's father, had a lot of close friends. So we get this detour on this map. I wish my eye would quit. I'm okay, y'all. I really am. I'm not going to be ashamed of crying because, you know, it is what it is. It's not pretty to talk about. Anyway, Grandma talks about this being friends of both her and Melodee's father. Now, my mom had that friend named Bobette who was, believe it or not, was killed in an automobile accident. But before she passed away, right before she passed away, she had me staying with her. She treated me like one of her own kids. She was loving and kind, and she was better than my real mom. So I grew to love her very, very much. But my mom took me away from her too. So my mom was very narcissistic. Anybody I would get attached to, she would snatch me away. However, she didn't really want me either. It wasn't that she wanted me. She just didn't want anybody else to have me. You feel me? I am a strong survivor, and so are you all. You've all been through stuff. We all have. We have trauma. We have childhood trauma. It's why we work on these cases, right? It's why we're worried about these little kids. Now, I was very fortunate that Rach, the waitress, the cocktail waitress, took me behind the counter and got the authorities, and I was safe. No bad people touched me. I was protected. And I was in their care, in Rach's care. She kept me for a week until my grandma used a Greyhound to get to me, picked me up in Tennessee, put me on the Greyhound all the way to Oregon. Actually, to Montana first. So we were on the bus for like 4 days. My grandma literally told me she didn't think I'd ever had shoes on my feet before. I didn't even know how to use a fork. My mom opened up a can of soup, didn't even heat it. She'd always give me that, and I'd drink that's what I thought was yummy. Or she'd buy me a burger, right? We are strong survivors, aren't we? Allison, it gives you insight, empathy, and fight for justice. And those without a voice, Mama D. Absolutely. Aw, thank you, Palawala Ding Dong. Good to see you again. Thank you for the hugs. That's right. Makes us special. All of us. We've all had a hard time growing up. But I think it does help us in these cases to really get a read on people, because when you're that young and you go through trauma, you have to read people very quick in life, very early in life. And it teaches you. That's right, Grass Monster. It doesn't mean the memories don't hurt. It's not that I was scared until it got dark the second night. I think I was tired the first night and had a lot of faith that she was coming back. But by the second night, I got scared. That's what triggered it all. But why I cried was thinking of a mother leaving a beautiful child at 4 years old behind. And the worst part is not even having the common decency to get curious if the child is still alive or not. That's what's heartbreaking. Not just for me, but for wherever Melodee is. For wherever these children are that the parents are so super sus. Right? Oh, Laura. Thank you. Well, and I'm fine. It's good to cry, they say. I just hate to cry in front of people, but I'm good now. That's why when these parents get on here and they don't even shed a tear for their own child, blows my mind. All right, let's get over and let's listen to a little News Nation, and you can watch Ashley getting her moving boxes now. That's the latest update. Well, she ain't gonna be moving because she's been arrested. What a wild update.
Tell you that, but she may be thinking of moving.
No, she ain't.
Yesterday, according to a neighbor, Ashley had what looked like moving boxes.
So sad. You ain't going nowhere. You ain't going nowhere, Ashley. The only place you're moving to is bunk B.
Delivered to her home. And she appeared to have changed her hair as well, or her wig, once again. Let me just show you the video that we can play for you. That was
I'm
shot
sorry, Laura.
right next door
I have no
of
idea why you're
Ashley,
being kicked out.
weirdly with her purse slung on her shoulder and her boots on, although not leaving the property. Take a look at this.
Right? Laura said the only place she is moving is to jail, bro. Yeah, like soulless. You know what?
Yeah, nothing's...
I gotta say something. This today, I was thinking about that when I was really getting prepared for the live and everything, and I was really, really deep into thinking about Melodee and being 9, right? Because I can remember being 9. And one of the things that kind of dawned on me is, why didn't the authorities back in the day, yeah, that was 50 years ago or more. Yes, I'm almost 60. But why didn't they try to arrest my mother? Why was that okay to do? To literally abandon? Like, at that moment in time, I was like, I don't even know anybody's name but my mom. That's all I know is my mom's name. I had never met my grandma before. Yep, she's been arrested. Present it. She has been arrested for false imprisonment unrelated to the search of Melodee. Oh, yeah. Could be solar flares. Y'all, I have a real expensive, like, I'll show you. See that? That's a light. Oh, now I've messed up the camera. She left alone, man. Don't mess with nothing during Mercury retrograde. Oh, the camera's like, Hold on. Anyway, I was sitting at my desk last night. I didn't have it on. Just a minute, y'all. We're fixing the problem. Maybe. I don't know. Now I can't get it to work. All right. So I'm sitting at my desk last night making my thumbnail for this, and I'm like, do I smell flames? Do I smell smoke? All right, well, I'm like, I don't know. So I keep working and typing away. I got up and I walk out my living room, but I don't smell it out there. I go ask my son, Noah, upstairs. I said, are you burning anything? He's like, no. I'm like, oh my gosh. As I walked back in my office, I could smell something burning. And I was like, whoa, something's about to blow. Like, it smelled strong. So I went over and I just grabbed the plug to the entire, everything in my office all is routed into a thing. And I did the switch, and pop, that light blew. Like, pow. And it stunk. I'm like, what? So luckily we have a backup one, and I will get that. But is that not weird? Like, oh my golly, camera one day it was my phone and my camera, got a new camera, and then the light blew. I'm like, Mercury retrograde is on our path. I really believe that this child, Allison, I do believe that Melodee is with friends, because listen to her talk about this. The grandmother is going to talk, and she is going, and it's at the very tail end, and she's explaining the border in Utah, and she gets right in that little area that would be considered the detour, and she says that is where Ashley and him, meaning the dad, used to live and have a lot of friends together there. And that's a detour. That's not a path you would normally take to go from point A to point B.
Suspicious there, moving boxes. For a woman who just, last week was hauled out of that house and taken with what looked like detectives, plainclothes detectives with sidearms in their gun holsters. got her into a vehicle and drove off with her to a quote-unquote alternate location right before police and FBI raided her home for hours, and a storage locker, and also searched the rental car that she'd been using. You may recall late last week, this happened in Lompoc, California, right? And they did those searches, but then weirdly, she returned.
Hey, Tammy, good to see you.
That part was a head scratcher to me. That alternate location after the storage locker and all the rest. No, she was allowed to return. And after that, the neighbor says that Ashley did not venture out of the house for 72 hours. But on Sunday, she went somewhere in an Uber, apparently for about 2 hours, according to the neighbor.
I feel the same as you,
and
Laura.
On Monday, a sheriff's deputy was back and knocking on her door.
Okay, I've misplaced the video with the grandma saying that. That's what I mean. It's like, I don't know where it went. Is it this one? That's that one. It's not that one. I've lost the one where grandma says it, but she does. And it's on, I can't remember the name either. Ashley Banfield, News Nation. It's on there. And so if I can't show it to you because apparently I cut that clip and threw it away. I don't know. Yes, I'm having terrible, strange tech issues. All right, you guys, before we go, I'm going to sneak a little something in real quick because I got to get over to another thing over on Crime Story, which is also related to Melodee Buzzard'S. So if you feel like jumping over there with us and continuing, I would greatly appreciate that. But I just wanted to bring this up. Well, Allison, I don't know, love, because they're saying that it's unrelated to the search, so I don't think so. Allison's saying, do you think the imprisonment the police are referring to is the imprisonment of Melodee elsewhere at one of Mom's friends? I don't think so because it's unrelated to a search. That's how I take it. That's how I take it. All right, anyway. AI 31. Anybody else freaking out because this thing has now hit national news and it's not fake news, we got real news. It went behind the sun, and instead of keep going and burning out, it has split off, and a piece of it is coming towards the world and the other piece is gone, like it disappeared. It didn't like burn out in a blaze of glory or nothing. It just poof. Doesn't that make you think of like, our rockets are hooked up to the main fuselage, right? That holds all the fuel. But then when they reach a certain destination, they kick off that extra weight. So then they can go to the moon and land and all this. Isn't that bizarre? I don't know what's going on, but Atlas 31's got my attention. It's scary. Scarier than politics. We do need a press conference. Who peed my Cheerios? Absolutely. And thank you, sweetheart, for bringing that up to us that she was arrested, right? I'll literally have to change breaking news on the thumbnail. All right, my lovely. The sunflares are causing all sort of emotional, environmental, and technical issues. 100% Cordster. 100%. All right, my lovelies, with that being said, I love you so much. I appreciate you. Please share the love back. Be so kind. If you would, hit the like button. Also, if you care to subscribe, it makes my day. It makes me smile when I see the subscribers go up. And if you're on replay, hype me up for the love of goodness sakes. Hype me up. That puts me over the moon. I'm like, look at all the hypes. I appreciate you. Aw, Prime Candy, good to see you. Thank you, Jennifer Swain, who peed in my Cheerios. Please come back and see us. Nikki, okay. Tammy, it was good to see you on the live. Presente, thank you so much. You'll be fine. I'll be fine. I'll be fine. I'll see you again very, very soon. Keep hope alive. Dear Jesus above, Lord in heaven, please watch over Melodee Buzzard. Protect her with all our unconditional love as well as yours. Baby Jesus, wrap your love around this child and protection, that nothing spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally, or financially would harm this child, right? That she is 100% protected. And this is going to be a big win for us. I'll eat my words, as someone said in here, I'll eat my words if this child comes to harm. It will break my heart. I am putting my sights on this child, all my hope in one basket, that she is with some friend on that detour. Because remember, Ashley opened the door to the gas station and was like, did anybody know there's kittens out here? That shows compassion. Okay? We can only pray. We can only pray. I love you to the moon. And it shows vulnerability. True, true. Love you to the moon and back. I'll see you.